Okay, so there is a video of a pastor. His name is Voddie Baucham. He is making the case that it is a sin to worship the Lord through moving your body, so dancing. He's saying it's not biblical. He's proving his case. He had an interview with Todd Friel, and this is a really interesting interview. So I want you guys to see what he has to say about this.
I have some Bible verses on the subject of worship. I am going to read this Bible verse, and you are going to tell me what it means or what it doesn't mean, based on the Bible verse without reading into it.
Do I get to choose? Either to tell you what it means or to tell you what it doesn't?
You can do whatever you want.
Okay.
All right? Let's do 2 Samuel 6:14. David was dancing before the Lord with all his might, and David was wearing a linen ephod. Go.
When you dance in church, wear linen.
Thanks for making the point. All right. Therefore, David danced in church. Dancing in church is biblical. Can I use this for a text?
Sure.
So you don't have a problem with dancing in the church?
I do.
But this verse says David danced.
You can use whatever you want to use, right?
All right, well, tell me why.
But first of all, David wasn't in church.
Okay, fair enough.
That's
but
first.
He did it in worship.
David wasn't in church.
He was worshiping the Lord.
Yeah.
Very excited about the ark.
He was very excited about the ark.
Yes.
Yes. We don't have an ark.
Well, okay.
We don't have a king.
But I could do that with any verse.
We don't have it. Right. But what I'm saying is that when we read this, we have to read this text in its historical context.
All right.
In order to understand what's happening here.
Okay,
right?
so...
Because the other thing is this. Narrative is not normative.
Correct.
It's a very important principle of exegesis. Narrative is not normative. Just because something happened doesn't mean that it's supposed to happen normatively.
But there's shadings on that. You know that. Supposed to versus can happen.
Yeah.
So how's about if I say to you, okay, fine, Voddie, I give you your context.
Can I dance in church? Yes.
I'd kind of like to see that. Would you maybe just humor us and show us a couple of moves? Not a chance.
Now he knows better than that. He knows was not about to dance in church for him.
Okay, this is actually, let's keep diving on this. So David isn't dancing in church, so I can't say.
So for example,
David danced, I can dance.
Yeah, you can. But that would be more akin to we've excommunicated someone, and we're here at worship. This person we've excommunicated. It was a painful experience for the church. We've been praying for this person. Their life just went to the pit. And God saves them and brings them back.
Right.
And they walk through the doors. There might be a little dancing. That's more akin to what's happening there. An emotional, sort of outburst in response to a circumstance, as opposed to here's how we're going to organize our worship.
Fair enough.
Okay, and this is where I'm at with it, because I feel like, and this is me thinking and going off of the Bible, what I've read about in the Bible, dancing is okay to do. I think where he's coming from, he's saying that it shouldn't be normalized, and it isn't normalized in the Bible as a regular form of worship, just normally. But just like the case he just made, oh my goodness. If somebody is having a very rough time in their life and they receive a miracle and they have like this emotional response that happens naturally in them and they feel the need to dance, isn't that the most authentic form of worship? If they're thanking God and they're feeling the need to make that be known and it just kind of happens naturally, is that not an authentic form of worship? And would that not be okay to do in church? You know what I mean? Because there are different instances in the Bible. Like right now, they're using the example as David. He danced before the Lord out of cheer, out of happiness, out of peace, and knowing Jesus Christ, knowing who God is, knowing it was for the Lord, right? It was for the Lord. I don't know why I said knowing Jesus Christ, because this was definitely the Old Testament. However, it was for the Lord. Okay? So that's a true form of worship, most authentic. And I think another thing, this man, he is, I don't know if he says it in this interview, right? But I think the point that he's trying to drive home is that it's not necessarily always clean dancing. Like, dancing isn't necessarily always clean. It can be swayed. It can be taken as something else. It can be looked at as something else. It can invoke a certain feeling that's not praiseworthy, right? I don't know. Let's see what he has to say. Let's let him talk. Let's see.
There is explicit and implicit. So could I not use this as an implicit text to say, look, it's not a sin to celebrate and worship the Lord by moving your body.
Sure.
Therefore, this verse still gives me permission to do that, not commanded.
Not when you went to the therefore. Not when you.
Why not?
You were okay to the therefore.
Well, how do you apply it then?
Well, because here's the thing. Why do we want to do this? Why do we want to make this a normal activity for us?
I wasn't saying to make it's commanded. I'm saying this verse gives us permission.
Let me find out he just don't like to dance. He just don't like to dance. He ain't the best dancer, and that's why he doesn't like the whole idea of dancing. And y'all gotta excuse me, like, I have these little magnetic lashes on, and they are holding it down. They're trying to, but I keep feeling like they're coming loose. And if I start feeling like they're swaying, I'm gonna just take them off. I'm so real. I'm so honest with y'all. I will take them off right here on camera. But why does this man not like the idea of dancing? I mean, I can understand dirty dancing. Like, if that's the case, don't nobody want to see that in church. You know what I mean? That's going to invoke something like nasty in somebody's spirit. And some people do like to mix the dancing stuff, and it can get very questionable. Yes. In church, yes. He needs to just say that, though.
To express ourselves in joyful worship to the Lord by busting a move.
You could do it.
It's not commanded, but it gives me permission.
You could do it.
You're humoring me now, aren't you? You just want to be done with this.
You could do it. I'm waiting.
All right. Let's do John 4.
You're not going to do it?
Oh, waiting for me to do it? You got to, do something that makes me happy, and maybe I'll get down with my bad self.
Okay, all right, so I don't know. I'm just having a hard time understanding what the purpose is of this statement. You know what I mean? Like, what point is he trying to drive home? Just the simple fact that dancing in church is not biblical, like the actual act of dancing in church, because there is dancing as a form of worship. But he's saying the normalization of dancing in church as a form of worship is not biblical. I just don't understand the point that he's trying to drive home. That point was not clear to me. But I thought that was interesting. I don't understand that. Have y'all ever been so happy that you just felt the need to just do a little, a little dance? Like it just happens. You are just happy and it happens. And for the Lord, I mean, what? That's the most genuine form of worship. I don't know. I honestly don't know, but I did find a scripture. So let's get into that one. So this is 1 Thessalonians 5 verses. Let's do 21 and 22. So it says, prove all things, hold fast that which is good. Abstain from all appearance of evil. And let's just finish it off with 23. And the very God of peace sanctify you wholly. And I pray, God, your whole spirit and soul and body be persevered, blameless unto the coming of our Lord Jesus Christ. The only thing that I can say as far as this interview, because listen, this one interview alone has over 1 million views. Like this really made a statement. And I'm just having a hard time understanding the reason for this. And the only thing that makes sense to me is that some people like to dance a little bit nasty and they forget where they're at and they forget who's watching, and they kind of just, that's something that can also happen kind of naturally too. So I get having to be careful about that, because you know how people can be when they see a certain dance move. Let's use the example of a man. When a man sees a certain dance move being done by a woman, and how that can invoke something in them. You know what I mean? If that's done in church, then that's just a distraction. And I feel like there shouldn't be any tolerance for that kind of stuff, because when you're in church, you need to be focused on the word. You need to be focused on worship, repenting, learning, understanding. Not what somebody else has on, not who's dancing, you know what I mean, what they look like while they're dancing, not a competition. No, none of that. That is all a distraction, and that is just intolerable to me. I look at that as intolerable. So I think I can understand it from that perspective, but that wasn't in that clip. Maybe I need to watch the whole interview, but that clip alone, and that was a pretty telling, important part of the argument, right? He didn't say it in that one. So I don't know. Can you guys help me clarify the meaning of that clip? Because I truly do not understand what the point was he was trying to drive home. I don't know. He didn't say what I think he was trying to say. But you guys let me know. Subscribe, like the video. Let me know if my lashes is just fanning, swaying. I promise you these things are about to come off. I was trying to keep it a little bit cute, but man, I have the urge to just take them off right here on camera, for real. And I would do it. Absolutely no shame. But facts is facts. All in all, the Bible does not say that dancing is forbidden. Nowhere does it say that. It's actually used multiple places in the Bible as people doing it as a form of worship to celebrate. And yeah, what do you guys think? Let me know. Subscribe. I'll see you guys in the next video.